Welcome to chapter 9.3, Pure 1, which is about area of triangles. Before we begin, you should have learned two formula to work out the area of triangle. You should remember them. I'll let you write it down. The first one is obviously half base times height, since we learned from primary school maybe, or maybe you learned it in year one or 10 months old if you're a genius. Right, or second one, learn a bit later, half AB sine C. Okay. Um, And one thing is you must remember the angle C must be between length A and B. So you might be thinking, okay, how do we get to formula? Well, so first of all, let's try this. Okay, let's call this A, B, and C proof. Now, this is not required for you. It's not examinable, but it's just for your understanding, right? So if we call this, so that's the height of a triangle. Okay, so that's the height of a triangle. So let's call this height. Okay. And then if that's angle C, we have length C, we have angle C in here as well. So since we know the area is half times base times height, okay? If I substitute base, which is length A in here, that becomes half times A times the height, right? Now, can we look at the height? In the height, we see a right angle triangle. How about if we use the height triangle AC, this one here? Okay, I'm going to highlight this. So what about if I use this triangle here, where the height is here, the angle C and B. So using trigonometry, SOHCAHTOA, I know sine C, sine C equals to opposite over hypotenuse. And if I make H the subject, multiply B over B sine C equals H. So if I rewrite H equals B sine C and replace it, the height in here, then you can see the area now equals to half times A times B sine C, which is essentially half AB sine C. And that's why C must be between the length A and B, because you can tell from proof. All right. It's important. No, it's not. But it widens your understanding of maths. Right, next one, example or practice. Again, if you have learned this all in GCSE, you should probably know how to do a lot of them. That's why I say example slash practice. Pause the video, okay? Have a go. If you would like to finish all of them, be my guest, okay? And then what I'll do is pause the video now and then have a go. I'll write the answer for you. Final answer and press question 1, 2, and 3, okay? And if you want to listen, just listen. Well, here are the answers for press question 1, 2, and 3. The area is 9. Press question 2 is x equals 8, and these are 138.2. Okay, if you got right, you can move on to practice question 4. But if you got wrong, I'm going to go through one by one very quickly. So to work with the area of triangle, clearly this one want to use half AB sine C. So equals to half times 3 times 7 times sine 59 degree, because 59 degrees between the 3 and the 7. Okay, so put in a calculator and you should get 9 centimeters squared. All right. Stressless. Next one. Example, practice question 2. Given the area is 10, work out the value of x. So when set up the formula, set up an equation using 10. So half AB sine C equals 10. So half times x plus 3 sine 30 degree equals 10. Now, how do we solve this? Sine 30 degree, put in a calculator, that's a half. So a half, I can rewrite as a half times x plus 3 times another half equals 10. Then how do we solve it? Well, half times half is a quarter. So a quarter x times x plus 3 equals 10. I can multiply 4 over, give us x times x plus 3 equals 40. Then I realize this becomes a quadratic, so I'm going to expand the bracket, x squared plus 3x, and bring the 40 over to the left-hand side. And with the calculus, solve the quadratic, you should get x equals minus 8 or 5. We can't have negative value of x because x is a length. Therefore, x equals 5. Oh, hang on. X equals 5. Oh, sorry, my bad. Actually, this was x equals 5. If you got it wrong because of my mistake in here, I'm terribly, terribly sorry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. Example price question 3. Given the area is 10 again, and theta is obtuse, work out the value of theta. So I can use the 7 equation using area again. Half times 5 times 6 sine theta equals 10. Half 5 times 6 is 30. 30 half is 15 divided over. So sine theta equals 10 over 15. So put in the calculator, inverse sine or arc sine. If you remember what I said last lesson, the proper name of inverse sine is arc sine. That's the mathematical name. Sorry about my writing. Arc sine. Okay, that's a proper way of saying it. Arc sine, put in a calculator, you get theta equals 41.8 degree. But smarties like us realize the question was theta is obtuse, being obtuse. So we don't stop in here. In fact, you have to use what you learned about last lesson about the ambiguous case, which if you forget, essentially is here. I'm just show you a quick recap. So this is ambiguous case. If you want to listen to the explanation, you can go back to chapter 9.1, 9.2 towards the end. Yeah. So what we'll do essentially is we can draw a sine graph and do 180 degree minus it. So theta equals 180 degree minus 41.8 degree, which is 138.2 degree. And that's how we got the answer, right? Ambiguous case. If you don't write this out, you will lose the last 1 or 2 marks, I believe. Right. Press question 4. All right, your turn. Pause the video, have a go at the question. When you're ready for the answer, you can press play. Here are the answers. The question says possible values of x. So you have to think about the ambiguous case as well, because x could be both answers, more than one answer. Even the diagram suggests it may look like a acute angle. But yeah, but if you didn't write the other answer, do you write it down now? It's 180 degree minus the other answer, yeah, minus the other angle. Okay, right. Press question 5. Yeah, there's more. Are there more? Is that last one? Yes, this is the last one. You might be happy to know this might be the last one. Might be. No, it is the last one. Pause the video, have a go at the question. When you're ready for the answer, you can press play. Here's the final answer in part A. Either you can show that or you can't. Part B, here's the final answer. If you got it right, let me check the next page. Yes, you're off. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the lesson for you. But if you don't, let's have a go through why we aren't able to do this. Okay, so step by step. In a triangle PQR, so why don't we try to draw out the triangle, try and make sense of it. Okay, so so PQR. PQ is x plus 2, PR is 5 minus x, and angle QPR is 30 degree. Okay. The area of a triangle is 8 centimeters squared. Show that A, so A is the area. So part A, the question, 1 is to 7 equation. So A equals half AB sine C. Half AB sine C. So area equals half. Now my A and B value would have to be x plus 2 and 5 plus 5 minus x because the angle 30 degrees between these two lengths. So half times x plus 2 times 5 minus x sine 30 degree. Don't forget sine 30 degree could be put in a calculator, which is a half. So this is a half. A half times a half is a quarter. So that's where a quarter comes from. A quarter times x plus 2, 5 minus x. I read the question in part A. The question, my answer to the answer, we both have a quarter. So that's a hint for me not to touch the 1 over 4. So I'm not going to do anything with a quarter because the question, final answer, also is a quarter. What you should realize is they expand the bracket. Instead of 2 brackets, they've got 1. So I expand the double bracket in here. So A equals a quarter times x times 5, 5x, x times minus x squared, times plus 10, 2 times x minus 2x. And simplify the bracket, put in their order. 10 goes first, plus 5x. And then, oh, that made a mistake somewhere. X minus x squared. Oh, hang on. No, I didn't. I just read it wrong. I thought that was x squared. 5x minus 2x is 3x, and then minus x squared. All right, easy. So, part B, by completing the square, find the maximum value of A. You should have learned or done a bit of completing square already from chapter 6 about circles. So if you forgot, okay, I'm going to show you how to complete a square for this one again. Okay, so question B, to complete a square, I don't like negative x squared because negative x squared is not helping us to complete a square. So I'm going to factorize a negative out. Okay, so it becomes x squared minus 3x minus 10. Next, to complete a square with such a clunky expression, it's best to put a square bracket, do it step by step. So you want to halve this term, half the 3x becomes x minus 3 over 2, or 1.5 if you prefer. Okay, squared. and then subtract this number squared, so 3 over 2 squared, and bring the minus 10 at the back. So a equals to minus a quarter. X minus 3 over 2 squared, we're not going to touch it. This one, what I will do is I'll put this in the calculator as a negative. So let me show you. Give me a sec. So I would put negative, don't forget a negative in the front, negative. 3 over 2 is same as 1.5. So 1.5 squared minus 10, which is negative 49 over 4. So negative 49 over 4. 1 is 49 over 4. Don't forget to multiply negative a quarter back in. So give us area equals to negative a quarter x minus 3 over 2 squared plus because minus minus makes a plus, a quarter times 49 over 4 give us 49 over 16. So what's the minimum value or the turning point? So in this case, a maximum point, because if you look at this quadratic, it's a negative x squared. So negative x squared means it's an N shape. N shape means we have a turning point of a maximum. So the maximum or the maximum, let's call it maximum point. The maximum point, think about GCSE, the turning point will be this value, opposite will be 3 over 2, and this value as it is, 49 over 16. Now, how do we know which one's x and a? Well, we know in this coordinate x minus, so we know that has to be x value. And because there's no y value, we talk about a in here, so that's the a. So the max a value, so the max a value equals 49 over 16 when x equals 3 over 2, which I wrote 1.5 in the answer, whichever way. All right. And that's the end of the lesson.